Well, hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. Thank you so much for joining us this weekend. What a great time of the year to be a sportsman here in the state of Michigan. One of my favorite things to do in our great state is chase turkeys, and you're going to get to see my opening day hunt from the middle part of the Lower Peninsula on this week's show. Then Jenny's going to take us over to the east side of the state to do a little whipping for walleye after dark. You won't want to miss that. And Jordan Brown's going to have a story for us on some trout habitat that's really in some dire straits in southern Michigan. So lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Vanguard, a global manufacturer based in Michigan featuring rifle scopes, binoculars, and spotting scopes with lifetime warranties. Vanguard supplies sporting optics and accessories for the outdoor enthusiast, online at vanguardworld.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
We all have one, that perfect spot, a special place we go to smooth out the ripples of the day. Our perfect spot is calling. Our perfect spot is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Opening day of the spring turkey season is as much fun for me as the opener of the deer season. I don't know if it's the time of the year or what, but every season seems to get me fired up. And this year was even better because I was going to be hunting on the opener and not running a camera. I'd be joined by our crack crew of camera guys, Jordan Brown and Gabe Van Wormer. We were here on Gabe's home court for this hunt, and things were looking pretty good. Well, it is finally that time of year again. This is the night before the opener of the turkey season, and of all the people I know, Gabe Van Wormer spends more time in the woods than about anybody. And so when we were trying to figure out what to do for opening day, he said, well, I've got birds, and you grew up around here, so he's got access to tons of property. So you have to do two things I think for opening day of turkey season. You either have to do a lot of scouting, or you got to know somebody that did a lot of scouting, and that's what we did. And so Gabe kind of has, gosh, how many pieces of property?
Probably at least 10 or 12.
10 or 12 pieces of property. We've just hit maybe 3 or 4, and they all had birds on them. So we're going to go back and make a plan. We'll probably pick the wrong plan, but there's enough birds that we should be able to stumble into something tomorrow. But the weather is not looking good. It's supposed to be windy and rainy, which don't usually work so well for hunting turkeys. But it's opening day, so we're going to give it the full effort, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's not often that I get to actually hunt on opening day. It's been a long time since I've hunted on opening day. I've usually got a camera in my hand. So Jordan's going to be running the camera, Gabe a little bit. Hopefully, it'll be a good opening day.
We're set up in a pretty good spot between two different groups of birds. And as it's getting light, we see there's one right behind us, maybe 30 yards or so behind us. So we think it's a tom. Fingers crossed he'll fly down right in front of us.
Well, our attention was behind us as we waited for this bird to come down, when things shifted rather quickly. We spotted 3 toms heading across the large field that we were on. I grabbed the slate call to see if we could turn them our way. Okay, so the birds had turned and things were looking pretty good. We had 3 decoys at about 8 to 9 paces from us, and the goal was to get the birds in that close for good footage. So sit back and for a couple minutes enjoy the sights and sounds of a spring morning in the turkey woods. Wow. It doesn't get any better than that. Oh gosh. Turkey hunting is just so great. They got right here to what, 8, 9 paces. They never quite got to decoys. They were just getting a little hinky right there, so I figured, well, we might as well go ahead and shoot one since we're here. Alright, let's see what we got here. First, let's look at these hooks. Yeah. It's a nice, probably 2-year-old, don't you figure? Maybe 3. And, whew, wow. That's, we'll put a tape measure on it here in a minute, but that's every bit of 10, 11 maybe?
Pushing 11, I think.
Oh, what a pretty bird. Nice, big, beautiful bird. Well, when you draw up your turkey hunt in the spring, this is exactly what you hope for. It could not have gone any better. The rain kind of held off. It's just kind of spitting a little bit. These birds came across the field. They had a different mission in mind. They weren't coming to where we were, but the call turned them. I think the decoys brought them in a little bit. They got all the way up, probably within 5 or 6 steps of the decoys, but never quite wanted to come into them. They started to turn, and if they'd have got any closer to Jordan, we'd have been out of luck. So, boy, what a hunt. Gabe, thanks for letting us tag along on your property here. What a great spot. Beautiful bird. Just perfect. Watching them come across that field. I mean, the sun's not even up yet. It's just after 7 in the morning, opening day. Another tag, another season. Perfect day. Perfect day. Well, as you can see, we had a ton of fun on that hunt. And special thanks to Jordan and Gabe for letting me be behind the gun instead of the camera on that show. What we're going to do now is actually head over to the east side of the state, and there's lots of good fishing that happens during the day here in our great state, but of course there is some good stuff that happens after dark as well.
Last week, as the sun was setting in Port Huron and most fishermen were headed home for the day, a few folks were just getting started. Good friends Lowell Cameron and Jenny Earl were headed out for an evening of whipping for walleye, a technique that's specific to the Port Huron area. Joining us today was Elizabeth Wilcombe, another friend from the area.
Not expecting a whole lot, but we'll give her a shot.
All right.
Early for whipping, we'll be the first ones out there. So.
Yeah. Do you have to whip when you're going out after dark, or could we jig?
We could jig, but it's pretty difficult to see the line when you're jigging.
Gotcha.
Real hard. You need a powerful headlamp maybe, but yeah, it's kind of hard. And they don't bite near as well as you get them right before dark or in the early morning when you're jigging. I tried it, it's pretty tough. But last year at this time we did real good whipping, so the water temperature is close to the same. We should do about the same.
We left the Black River, hit the blue water of the St. Clair River, and headed south. Lowell had done some research and found that there was more walleye activity on the Canadian side of the river, so we headed there, found the depth of 22 feet, and anchored in the swift current to start whipping for walleye.
All right, whipping is a technique for catching walleyes. Pretty much staple for the St. Clair River exclusively. I don't know if they whip anywhere else or not, but because of the current you're allowed to be able to use this procedure. And this procedure actually consists in simple fashion of a three-way. Use a drop weight, bell sinker, usually a 2 or 3 foot lead. This is called a night stalker. A lot of times they'll call them pencil plugs, that's the old name. And this has a special body size, and the function with the lip of this creates movement in the current as it's being piggybacked with another lure, and that comes to the next lead. As you put the lead on the back, some people use 2, some use 3. In Canada you can only use 2 plugs, so that's what we're doing today. So you have your night stalker with a unique body. We're running about a 6 foot lead behind that, and with the bright colors and the clean water we have, we're gonna stay with the metallic. Brand new out of the package for you, Jenny.
All right. So why do you whip at night?
For the water clarity, at night they don't recognize the minnows as they would in the daytime. The metallic features the artificial look, where at night they see movement but they can't depict whether it's real or if it's fake. Now in the daytime you can whip. If the water's a little dirty, you can get fish all day long, and at night they'll shut right off when the water's dirty. So you got to have that perfect combination in order to whip. And typically they'll bite all night long with the whipping procedures.
Okay.
So as you see, we got one plug going in, the front plug going in, and we got line counters. Sometimes you'll find a pot of fish that are staging in a certain area, so then you get the line counter to help you out to know when you start realizing where the fish are and concentrate towards that particular depth and that distance back. So right now I'm letting line out until it hits bottom, and there, just hit bottom. So we are at 48 foot and we are in 21 foot of water.
Okay. And then you just, the whipping is actually pulling it off the bottom repeatedly?
Yeah.
Letting the current take it back? Or?
Yep. What I typically do in this time of the year is it's real subtle jerks, where in the summertime, boy, you really whip hard. And they're more aggressive then. And in this fashion, you're trying to get the non-aggressive, the lethargic walleye to bite. So you're just kind of just mellowly jigging, or whipping I should say. So it hits bottom. You stay in one location for a couple of jerks, and then you let out the line for another couple of jerks until you get back about 200 foot.
Okay, so you're fishing different parts of the water the whole time.
Yeah, and then once you get back to, let's say, 200 foot, Some even you can get back further, depending on the current speed. Once you start losing the feel of the bottom, you want to come back, and then you reel up, jerk a few times, and do the exact opposite.
All right.
Pretty simple, pretty prehistoric, but it works.
As Lowell predicted, once the last of the daylight was gone and darkness set in, the walleyes were on the bite. He was able to get all of the rods rigged up, give Elizabeth a crash course in whipping, and still catch the first fish of the night.
And I caught myself too. Our first walleye, and typically,
Flatten them
we
out.
don't have to measure these, but that's a 17
Whoops, hang on a second. Oh, yeah.
little guy, but we're gonna keep him as a good eater, and we'll catch some more.
Cool. All right, we got the skunk out.
All right, now it's time to get busy.
Ladies,
Our turn.
Liz. You haven't been fishing a long time, huh?
No, I haven't been here out fishing since I was a kid. I used to go with my dad all the time, but being back out here is just so much fun. It brings back so many memories from when I was younger.
Cool. And you caught one today. How did that feel to hook into a walleye after so many years of
Oh, it's so fun. Like, I loved fishing when I was younger, and coming back out here and actually being able to do it is just fantastic.
Cool. All right. And you got some good fillets for dinner, right?
Oh, nice. I like the whole sitting there and waiting. I guess I'm just that kind of person where I believe in putting the time into something to get the end result. And the nice thing about being able to just sit here and relax, and then the fish and the excitement, it's always a lot of fun.
Have you been whipping before at night like this?
I've never done this actually. This is actually kind of interesting. I really enjoy it.
Cool. All right. This is your first walleye in a long time, hey?
It's been many, many years.
Oh, that's so fun. Good job. Let's get some more of those. The crew was starting to pick away at the walleyes and fill up the live well. Lowell and his girlfriend Jen are hardcore anglers that spend a lot of their free time on the water anywhere they can. But being out here on the St. Clair River at night is one of Jen's favorites. You guys do quite a bit of fishing now, don't you?
We do, yeah. We're out a lot every season.
Okay, so what's your favorite?
This.
This right here?
Yeah, the whipping is definitely my favorite.
What do you like about it?
I like going at night. I think it's exciting. You're not able to really see what's going on. I think the atmosphere with the lights and the quietness of being out here at night is really, really cool. I like that nobody has to run the trolling motor. We can anchor and we can sit down and we can relax. And then when I hook a fish, then he's able to put his rod down and come and help. So not worried about having to run the trolling motor and do all that when we're jigging. So it's more relaxed. So, and then when you catch those fish out here and you get those nice big ones, it's exciting.
Well, we weren't into the big ones tonight. All the fish were straight out of a 17-inch cookie cutter, it seemed, which came as a surprise to Lowell.
Yeah, I was actually really shocked to see them class of fish. Usually we get the 4 or 5 year olds, 3-4 pounds up to, we've got them up to 9-10 pounds out of here.
Yep.
But yeah, I would say closer towards the 1st of May, and it'll be the hot time.
Cool. And these are not the same fish at all that are in the Detroit River right now?
No, nope, not at all. These are coming off of, I think, the north part of Lake St. Clair, and some are drifting down off Lake Huron. And a lot of them are residents. They stay right in here the whole year.
The walleye fishing here in Port Huron area is just going to keep getting better over the next couple of months. There's plenty of time to get out here and chase after these delicious fish right here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown. We wrap up this week's show by taking a look at some work that was recently done on one of the few quality trout streams down here in southern Michigan, the Coldwater River. Now, unfortunately, this story is not a good one. The Coldwater River, which also happens to be a county drain, was recently subject to massive habitat losses due to a mismanaged project to help clear the drain. After hearing this from several anglers, I decided I had to go down, check it out myself.
My name's John McKenzie. I'm with the Coldwater River Watershed Council. We're at in Berry County, Brown Road, where it crosses the Coldwater River. And what you see behind me is the maintenance work of the Little Thornapple River Inter-County Drainage Board. We feel that they've gone beyond their authorized scope of work, the contractor has, and as a result, we see the damage to the banks along the river. We think the fishery's been degraded because there's been no measures made to prevent soil erosion or sediment control in about 10 miles of river. So we get a big rain, this loose dirt you see is going to wash right into the river. And that impacts the spawning gravel of the fish. That sediment fills in those voids where the eggs would lay. And so I think there's some long-term negative impacts that we're going to realize from the work that has been done.
Trout need a few basic things to survive, and one of those is cover. Good cover both in and out of the stream is essential to keeping a healthy population of trout in the system. And with a majority of that cover now gone, the immediate future for this trout stream looks rather bleak.
Well, the cold water is a drain, and most drains are lacking cover. And so anytime we can get cover in a drain, it's really important to the trout. And what happens when they maintain a drain is that they not only take wood out of the stream, clean the stream, take away the cover, but they also take away the potential cover of the streamside vegetation that could fall in the creek or just hang over the creek and provide cover. Cover is a real critical part of a trout's existence. It needs protection from herons and other fish-eating birds and so forth. And so when we essentially take away that cover, we greatly decrease the carrying capacity of the stream. I mean, I've been fishing this stream for 40 years, and the key to fishing this stream is to find cover, find places where trout can hide. And so we remove that, pretty soon we got a desert here, and we won't have it. The trout numbers will greatly decline.
The Coldwater River is one of the best trout streams in southern Michigan, and this is no accident. Several local organizations as well as private citizens have taken it upon themselves to help maintain it, and in just a few short weeks, the habitat they worked so hard to create has been virtually destroyed.
Trout are limited in the Watershed Council and have done work on the stream trying to improve habitat. I mean, anytime we can put some wood in the water and create some more depth and more cover, it's helpful. And it's just sad to see that work go by the wayside because, they're allowed, the drain commissioner is allowed to maintain the drain without any regulation. He doesn't, any drain that was created before 1973 doesn't require any permits to do work on the drain, and this can be real negative to the resource. I mean, one of my ideas is that we change that if a drain is also a designated trout stream, it should not be grandfathered into this old deal where they can do what they want, and that they should need to get permits in order to work on the drain. And they can even self-govern themselves. I think they can develop their own protocol and have a different protocol for a resource like a trout stream as opposed to just a simple agricultural drainage ditch.
Although the intent of this project was certainly not to destroy the fishery, a lack of research and understanding has changed it forever. Restoration efforts have begun, but it will be years until the fishery recovers. Trout streams of this quality are few and far in between here in southern Michigan. It's important that we do all we can to protect them.
Well, hey everybody, thank you so much for watching Michigan Out of Doors this week. And if you missed part of this week's show or maybe last week's show, you can always check us out online at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com. We have full episodes of the show there, as well as on YouTube. And if you do the Facebook thing, we're on there pretty much every other day or so, letting you know what's going on as we're traveling this great state, trying to bring you a brand new episode of Michigan Out of Doors every week of the year. Now, coming over the next few weeks, more turkey hunting on tap. Jenny's out trying to fill her tag this week, and lots of other cameras in the woods. And of course, the spring fishing is just getting going here in the great state of Michigan. The trout opener, so many good things happening right now, so make sure that you're joining us over the next couple of weeks, and if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks boat cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By the Department of Natural Resources Fisheries Division, reminding fishermen that they are our first line of defense in stopping aquatic invasive species. To minimize the risk of invasives, it is required by law to properly dispose of live bait after your fishing trip. By doing so, you help protect Michigan's world-class fishery. By Propane, Clean American Energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth. Michigan made for over 18 years, Lucky Buck on the web at luckybuck.com. Closed captioning is provided by the Michigan Propane Gas Association, Clean American Energy. Propane realtors promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where